I was like, what the fuck?
What kind of rich ass California shit is this? I don't know. It was just really funny for me. And
clearly, this is not an environment we come from.
No. Poor Midwest all the way, baby. But yeah, it's just kind of like.
But I can still feel for these.
Oh no, well no, and I like that too.
Real, rich, it's not like rich people can't, go
well,
through
and
trauma.
I think that's like an important point is that like no matter how much money you have, it can't protect you from trauma in your life.
Sure.
But it is also just like a little bit sometimes hard for me to personally feel sympathy for these characters. But then I do again, and I think that like that's an important reminder. And I also think that it does kind of make it funny a little bit sometimes. Like, you're also, I think it's like a little bit easier to laugh with them. Because you're like, well, I think you'll be fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I think they know
like, your kids will be fine.
Like, I think Jen, this whole time, thought that things would be fine because of everything that she provided with her family, with her kids. Like, she's like, oh, my kids go to the best schools. Like, they'll be fine.
And, well,
everything's fine.
They do talk about, though, like, she is having money troubles, and then especially when Christopher doesn't want to work with her anymore.
And she's
just
mother-in-law.
Because you have money doesn't mean you can't have money struggles, too. Like, just because you have a big house doesn't mean you have to, like, still make a mortgage payment, Shit happens. But, we were talking about emotionally abusive relationships. I also want to talk about, because the mother-in-law, oh my God, it just had me cringing so much. I just know people like this woman. And I think, like, maybe she's, like,
Do you?
the most unbelievable character in it, like, in a way, but it also is believable, that are just that self-obsessed, like, oh, well, my son died. And it's like, okay, yeah, we know. We were all...
I know, like in that moment, I was just like, I just want to punch you in the face right now. Like... Yes, he did die, and he had these relationships with all of these other people.
Right. It's not just yours, but, and then, like, just dangling things over her head. But it's like, if you have a shitty mother-in-law, of course that relationship isn't going to get better.
In the moment, like,
when
she's in her house and, Jen walks back in and she's like, I just wanted you to know this was not my doing. Like, it wasn't my, idea or anything like that. And then, like, Charlie comes out with his backpack, like, he's going to move in. And I'm just like, you fucking said yes to him, though? Like, are you kidding me? Like, shit is not bad with his mom. Like, you're going through a hard time because... your dad died. Like, you should not take him from his mom, like, in that moment, Like, it's... I don't know. It's just... It was not a thing that a responsible grandmother would do. And I was just very upset about it.
I actually really liked that moment, though, because I thought it was, like, one of the only times that she was genuine. Like, I really did believe that it wasn't her idea. And that, like, Charlie had come to her and asked.
Right. But I'm mad that she fucking let him come with her.
I hear you. But, like, I really... I don't know. I felt like how angry Jin would be, but I also was thinking, like, long term and, like, knew he wasn't going to stay there long.
Right.
Because, like, she's a psychopath and he probably doesn't want to go live with her for very long. And he ended up coming home not that long after.
And it did feel
distance makes the heart grow fonder.
Like that. Like, I believe that something like that would happen. That doesn't mean that in real life, if that would happen, like, I would not get angry at that grandmother.
If I was Jen, I would be pissed.
I was actually kind of like, I don't understand why you're not more pissed about this, Jen.
Fuck that kid.
I don't know. I mean, I thought I should give his mom a break, but I also, like, he's a teenager. I was dumber as a teenager for less good reasons, I feel like. I don't know.
Sure. I was that teenager.
Fair.
Fair.
I think maybe...
definitely that teenager.
Selling drugs, was something that kids that haven't lost their father do all the time.
Right. Oh, yeah. That cry for help thing.
Yeah.
That was confusing to me, though.
Him selling drugs?
Yeah. Did he get them?
They were his dad's drugs. Like, so his dad had, like, prescriptions. Yeah. And that's why that's why Jen didn't know, because they weren't hers, but she just, like, hasn't... She like, makes a point of, like, not throwing away all of his stuff in the guest house or whatever. So like she hasn't like done the like get rid of everything. You see in her closet, like he still has his shoes, his running shoes there. So like clearly she's not gone through his stuff. But was
that another secret? She didn't even know that he was on the drugs though. Is how I took it.
Well, I thought she did, and she just didn't think to check there because he, you know, in the meeting with the principal or whatever, she's like, tell him where you got the drugs, and he's like, I can't. And then immediately she's checking the medicine cabinets.
And they were all empty.
And they were all empty, and they were all his. So I think she knew where to go find them, and it was just like, it was his stuff, so she hasn't touched it, you know? So like she didn't even know that they were missing.
Yeah.
You know, they're not hers, so it's not like something she's checking every day. So he's able to get away with it for so long.
True.
Gotcha.
Which, when my dad was first diagnosed with cancer, 15 years ago when I was like 22, he refused to take a lot of his pain pills. Oh, wow, this is opening up for me.
It's on the internet, and it's forever.
Yeah. I used to... He would never take them. He would leave it because he doesn't like pain pills. And I would take a lot of them and sell them in high school. So like, I get why Jen
was perfectly,
like...
you know... logical step for this kid.
It's a normal step for a kid in high school. I swear to it. So now
especially going through some shit.
Well,
like,
and like,
you don't even need to be going through some shit to do that. Like as a kid in high school.
Well, and it's really easy to pay lip service to like the opioid epidemic, but not actually talk about prescription drugs, which is where a lot of that shit starts, especially in like small towns and yada yada. Yeah, I also
especially
thought that was
whenever
pretty relevant.
That shit's like. You realize that's easier to get a hold of.
Yeah. Right.
You know, like...
Yeah, absolutely. Bringing it all back to Judy, though, I do kind of love that dynamic where Charlie just right away, like, mistrusts her.
Uh-huh.
And because you're like, oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, like, who's this strange woman you just let move in with us?
And yeah, I think it's like kind of funny because you're like on Jen's side mostly, but you're like, actually, you're pretty right to mistrust this weird woman that your mom barely knows. And like when you're a kid and like not able to be kind of in charge of your surrounding, that kind of sucks too. Usually I think like in situations like that, it's like mom's new boyfriend.
Yeah.
But, or, you know, dad's new girlfriend, whichever dynamic it is. But like now it's like this friend, which is kind of funny too.
So, speaking of them moving this house so quickly together, I want to also, let's talk about, like, the female friendship that this show portrays. Because I think they do this very, like, while they just met, you know, it's still very, like, tight-knit and getting into hijinks together, a little Thelma and Louise-ish that they're doing here. I mean, like, they're going and smashing in cars with golf clubs together. They're going out in, you know, carrying on Okie.
Only Jen
with
did that. And Judy
yeah, but
she
was
the
with
blame.
her.
Judy took the blame for it.
But she was with her. And
that's
she was
also,
like supporting her in that.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And took the blame. So it's like, yeah, maybe not decide that together. But, you know, it's all like, we're in this together kind of feeling. I don't know, the carry-on Okie thing, whenever they were both, you know, kind of went along this, like, hookup path and, like, supporting each other there. I don't know. I think there's just a lot here that we don't really just get to see this genuine friendship.
I think those two actresses have, like, really good chemistry together, too. And I love because like they are very opposite, right? So they're not
completely
exactly
opposite.
Like they're very much odd couples,
type
sort
A,
of friend.
type B. Yeah.
But like I love when they show how like kind of rare that is when Jen tries to hang out with a neighbor, and the neighbor is just like hopelessly sort of, you know, uncool and like.
But it also teaches her how to use a
Well,
gun.
yeah, so that comes later, but they're just sitting there, like, and I've totally, like, had people where I'm like, on paper, we love all the same things, right? Like, you love bikes and the same movies as I do and the same music I do, and then, like, we try to hang out and, like, I have nothing to say. Like, I don't know how to talk to you. I think you guys have all probably done that, like, just, like, trying to make a new friend and then be like, So like
I almost like didn't know at first. I was just like, oh, she misses Judy. She needs a friend. That female friendship, like powerful, like connection. She misses it, so she talks to her neighbor. And then it was so awkward and weird. And she's like, well, can you just show me how to use this? Well, and I was like, I don't know if that was like conceding to the fact that like this isn't going to work, but I need something from you, or if that was the motive the entire time.
No, well, no, I don't think that's so, because she had no idea. And then like when she starts, but that's like the friend also doesn't know what to say to her. Jen's also like a really like aggressive kind of almost scary person if you're really reserved. So I think she's just like weird about it. And then she talks about home security, and then she's like, this is what I'm into. And that's when you actually get like a little bit of personality out of the neighbor, which I love.
I love that so much. I was like,
and her start talking about her guns, like, oh yeah, I'm into this. Yeah. Which is like sometimes that happens too, where like you find the subject that they want to talk about, and you're like, oh shit.
Oh, okay.
And Jen was like, okay, next move.
Yeah. No, but I do love that. It's just like you're not gonna have a right away connection with everyone.
No.
Yeah.
And I think like when you do find that, those are, you know, friendships you have to hold on to, even if maybe they murdered your husband. I don't know.
And I do think that like Jen, you know, like like as much as like we talked earlier about like how Judy's looking for like a family and looking for a connection with people, I feel like Jen, especially after she lost her husband, like, you know, was also looking for that. I mean, she went to that grief group counseling session.
Even though it seems like a thing not like her to do.
Right. But like, I mean, like, I feel like, you know, you were talking like, is she my soul sister? Like, I personally kind of like connected with her because of her very standoffish personalities.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's how like I've been a lot, but like that doesn't mean I don't want a connection with people. Well, and you know, it's hard to make that connection. So I think that's something, you know, like Jen was looking for.
For sure. Especially since her husband is, we now know, been checked out for like 3 years.
Right.
Yeah. So, and it doesn't, and her Christopher is her only other friend who is also a little bit scared of her and annoyed with her, you know.
And but still in that like work.
Loves her and like wants to take her children, you know, it's like, please, like, your son into this, but it's like, and he's can't do business
very clearly still in like this like sort of like work friend bucket though too, you know, like they do things outside, but like they don't seem super close. No.
I mean, I took it as they were, but like that, you know, just working with people takes a toll on your relationship. Like the fact that he was at their vigil, they've obviously been friends a really long time. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know, and that he's known their family a really long time, and then he just like couldn't take that role.
That's fair.
Anyway, let's talk about the end. Especially, like, you have sympathy for Judy, and then you think she's about to go turn herself into the detective, and you're like, no, maybe don't do it.
Yes.
But it was so good.
And instead, she turns in Steve.
So,
like,
I actually thought she was going to blame Steve for the hit and run. Is what I thought was going to happen.
I thought she was going to turn herself in, and you're just
sitting
there
she's just so like frustrated, like with Steve, and just kind of like, no, I'm fine. I didn't have anything else to tell you. I'm going to tell the police something. So I thought she was going to like just like flip the script and like blame him for it, which I was like, no, don't do it, because then you're just going to get yourself in a bigger mess. And then she said, he's a money launderer. I was like, what?
It was amazing.
Fuck him.
I was actually wondering what all of those goddamn file boxes were, like around the car whenever they showed the thing. And I was just like, what do you guys have to file away? Apparently, it's a paper trail.
Yeah, a goddamn paper trail.
And then later, like, her ex kind of comes to turn her in, but the detective's like, I've had a big day, so unless you have more evidence than this, like, entire garage worth.
Like, no, that was first, because I just watched this yesterday to catch up.
Oh, really?
So, like, he goes to turn her in first because he finds the TKG Arts or whatever and goes and visits Steve.
Oh, okay.
And so he tells her, and then, so that by the time Judy comes, the detective's like, oh my God, like so many today. Like, so she was had that little thing, but I did think it was interesting and crazy because at the end of the day, whenever they're searching the storage space and she sees that grease spot on the ground, and she's like, the detective sees the grease spot on the ground, and she's kind of like, maybe that guy was right.
So let's talk about the very end, because right around this point is when I was like, how the fuck are they